Okay, so we're here on tiermaker.com and we're looking at Otaku Boy T's tier list, which is interesting. Very anime sounding, but we're looking at Star Trek today and we're going to be ranking Star Trek captains. All three of us are very, what's the word? We like Star Trek a lot. we're all
We do.
We're Trekkies.
Trekkies.
We're all part of the SFI and Star Trek things, so I think it's safe to say that we like it.
Yeah.
We are. We all officers,
certain-
right? In the local
certain-
Star Trek.
Well, it depends on which chapter are you with.
Oh yeah, you guys are on a different ship now. Okay.
Yes, we're on the Omnis.
So
You're still with the Dauntless
yeah,
as far as
yeah,
I know.
on the USS Dauntless. I think I'm
Yeah, we're on
Kappa
the
team.
USS Omnis.
I'm the leader of Kappa team or something like this.
Oh, right, okay. I'm Chief Security Officer on the Omnis.
Oh, yeah. You chief security officer. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was gunning for chief science officer, but somebody snookered it from me. And then I gave it up.
I am the ship's counselor.
Ship's counselor. Okay, that makes sense for you, Kez.
Well, it's because I've got a psychology department.
Yeah, makes double sense for you, Kez. But we're not talking about officers today. We're talking about captains. So we're gonna rank
Indeed.
some of our favorite captains. Well, some of the most prominent captains. I don't think a lot of these are our favorites. Some we might not even know that well. But I think I arranged it, I think on my side, in order that they appear. At least from the pictures here.
Yeah.
Because I think some captains do.
Although I
What is that, Kez?
think Janeway and Cisco need to swap, but I might be wrong.
Is it? I thought Deep Space Nine came after
No.
Voyager.
Oh, no, Deep Space Nine is a spin-off, essentially. It's not actually... It is, but it isn't part of the Star Trek universe, if that makes sense. It is part of the Star Trek universe, but it's not part of ships flying through space. It's like
Yeah.
what they call a spin-off of the show in a sense. So it would actually be Kirk, Picard, Janeway, then Cisco, because Kirk, Picard, Janeway are captains of ships, whereas Cisco is the captain and actually the commander of a space station.
The space station.
In essence, if you want to be more technical about it, but he is a captain, but
Yeah.
he's actually the commander of a space station, if that makes
I
sense.
thought he came before Janeway, though, so that's my fault. I'm sorry.
Technically, show-wise, yes. When it comes to the show, Deep Space Nine started while TNG was still going, if that makes sense. So Deep Space Nine and TNG were running concurrently with each other for a certain period before TNG finished, and then Voyager and Deep Space Nine carried on concurrently. But it's a spin-off show; it's its own show. It's not actually following on from the next Star Trek. So it would be the original series, and then it ended, and then TNG began, and then it ended, and then Voyager began, and then it ended. If that makes sense.
But wasn't Voyager running at the same time that TNG was? And then
No.
no, so TNG had
Voyager-
stopped completely before Voyager started.
Essentially, yes. Voyager had stopped completely before TNG. Sorry, TNG stopped before Voyager started. Then Voyager started. I'm just going to get the timeline quickly. I'll tell you now exactly what the timeline was.
While you're looking,
I'm sorry for going off topic.
no, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. We gotta frame ourselves in the right frame of mind before we make these decisions.
Okay.
And yeah, so after that, so that's like a whole era. That's my favorite era. I wasn't too keen on the original series era with the movies, but I think that's
Yeah.
just because it just wasn't my time. It was just so long ago. And I don't ever think that the original series showed on South African TV. Did the original series ever show on South African TV?
It did. It did.
But like when?
A long time ago.
Like the 80s maybe, before I was alive.
And before I was born, dude. Before I was
Yeah.
born, so...
Yeah.
70s, 80s, somewhere around there.
Whereas I do remember TNG, and I think Deep Space Nine ran, but I don't ever remember Voyager.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the timeline, how it runs. Okay, so it was the original series, which was 1966 to 1969. Then it was the animated series from 1973 to 1974. This is excluding the movies, just so you obviously know it actually is excluding the movies though. Then it was the Next Generation from 1987 to 1994. Deep Space Nine started in 1993 and ended in 1999. As you can see, it was an overlap there between 93 and 94, where Next Generation and Deep Space Nine sort of started amalgamating together.
I always thought that was Voyager that overlapped. So I learned something new now.
No, Voyager started in 95, which was a year after TNG finished. But Deep Space Nine was still going, and then it finished in 2001, 2 years after Deep Space Nine finished. And then Enterprise started in 2001 to 2005. And Enterprise it's an underrated show.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it actually is a very good show. The only issue that obviously I have with it is that fucking
The intro
opening
music.
theme song.
I liked it. I love that song. But that's just because
Yeah.
it's a personal frame of reference where my dad and I used to like that song, and it gives you like that motivation if you feeling down or anything. It gives you like that oomph, which I know isn't really something that you want in a Star Trek thing, but. Yeah, but I'm sorry, I'm biased. I like this song.
No, it is something that you want in a Star Trek song, though. That's the thing. It is definitely something that you want in a Star Trek song because you want to be motivated and stuff like that. It makes sense. That actually does make sense. And also apparently the ending. I've never seen the ending of Enterprise, but apparently that's also not great because that's basically like it's supposed to be a holographic or hologram. The whole thing is made on a holodeck. For Riker or something like that, and I was like,
I never saw that.
no.
I never saw the end
don't
of it, so
remember it.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Star Trek suffers from, I think, the same problem with the fandom that other like long-running series and long-running video games do, where like if you enter at a certain point, it's more likely or not that you're gonna enjoy that part more than other parts that either run before or afterwards. And I entered at Enterprise,
Yeah.
so I don't mind Enterprise. But like when I see like lists of like other ranking lists and top 10 lists, like Enterprise is so low down, and I'm like, where are they getting this from? It doesn't make sense to me because I enjoyed Enterprise. It was my first.
no, you know what? It's a good show. That's in my opinion, it's a good show. It's not actually a bad show. I just don't like the theme song. It just reminds me of South Park. You know, the soaring so high above the world.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. I don't remember that theme song. Maybe I just deleted it to my recycle bin somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's like repressed
I
memory.
like it.
It's like a repressed memory.
I've actually got it playing in my head right now, so I don't know all the words, but I know like some of it,
Yeah.
and I know the tune and stuff. And right now, while we're talking about it, it's sitting playing in my head.
Oh, it's
Well, what's
actually
playing in my head at the
after
moment?
Enterprise then would be the movies, not the series, right? So this could
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, that Kirk would be after Enterprise and before Discovery
But
and
this-
Short Trek. Ugh.
This era is a different timeline, right? As far as I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the Calvin timeline. In essence, it actually doesn't belong in the entire series when it comes to the whole Star Trek timeline. If you look at it from what we look at and what we've seen, which was from the original series up to Enterprise, I'm going to deliberately leave Discovery, Short Treks, Picard, and Lower Decks out because, blech. But. It is.
I never
it
got
is
to
technically
Picard. I
a
actually
different
forgot that there
timeline.
was a thing. You just reminded me. I totally forgot about that show.
It's fine, dude. Don't even worry about it because you're not missing anything. It's terrible. It's not Star Trek.
Yeah. It's
The beginning wasn't that bad, but it got like the more it progressed into the show, the worse it got. Like the start, to be honest, the start wasn't that bad. But then, like, after the third or fourth episode, you're just like, no, this is not Star Trek.
When I lost interest in it was the minute they said their first swear word. Not because there was a swear word. That wasn't it. It's just that if you watch any of Star Trek's, any of the Star Trek shows, they said that they don't use foul language anymore because it's not necessary. It was those words were forgotten a long time ago and not necessary to use many years before that. So when that woman went sheer fucking hubris, I was like, lady, your sheer fucking hubris for saying that was the last straw for me. I couldn't do that. I was like, no, this is not Star Trek.
Yeah.
This and then it's just the violence as well. I don't ever remember Star Trek being that violent. Wow, very violent show. So no, you believe me, you're not missing anything, not at all.
All right.
But obviously, watch it for yourself and make your own opinion.
Make your own opinion. You can always develop your own opinion on that one. But I'm not looking forward to season 2. I'm not going to watch season 2, and I'm sure as hell not going to watch season 3. Apparently, there's a 3rd season planned as well. I don't know how they're managing it, but okay.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, I'm not watching any of those.
I mean, I watched the 1st season, but I don't remember anything what happened. I just know, like I said earlier, that they're traveling on some fungal net in the universe, which is an interesting concept. But the rest of the show did not captivate me. So that, I think, context in mind, let's get to ranking. So let's start off with original series Captain Kirk. Where would you guys place? We have, according to Otaku Boy T on Tier Maker, our options are Captain My Captain, Proud to Serve, Happy to Be Here, I Just Wanted to Study Comets, and When Does the Mutiny Start? Which is...
I don't like Kirk, so for me it will be... Shame, I won't put him all the way at the bottom. I'll put him at I Just Wanted to Study Comets.
Yeah, no, the bottom is reserved for the worst of the worst. Me, I didn't mind him as a captain. I grew up watching the movies that he was in, so I actually enjoyed those. Well, at least, you know, from the original movie, the first movie, I didn't like that, but from there onwards, they were not bad. I actually enjoyed the movies. So for me, I didn't mind him as a captain. So I'd say Happy to Be Here, to be honest.
If you didn't watch the series or stop watching the series, can you still watch the movies?
Yeah, you can watch the movies.
So you don't need to watch the series.
The movies don't. Yeah, no, the movies don't. They are basically their own story. It's Star Trek, dude. So you can literally start watching. You know, like for example, TNG. You know, you can start watching TNG from like season 5 and still understand what's going on. Because they do. Each episode is its own story. It's the same thing with the movies. Yeah, and it's pretty much the same thing with the movies. I mean, there are things like where Spock dies, it carries on over to the next movie as well. But that's just one part of it. They are actually their own stories. If you watch the movies, you don't necessarily have to have seen any of the TV series to actually enjoy the movies.
Yeah, for me, I couldn't stomach the cinematography in the original series. I mean, it was shot, like you could see the low budget all over it. Like it was shot in a way where they dragged out like shots just to like take up time, and the pacing of it, I just could not take, because it wasn't like, I mean, nowadays we have like media that's like 6 seconds long, you know, and I'm not necessarily one of those people that has too much of a short attention span, but it was killing me watching those scenes where they just like had the camera on someone's face and like they had it in still and they were zooming in for like 10 seconds like with this old-timey music, and I was like, no, I can't handle it.
It's more funny to watch for me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sure exactly what we're trying to rank the captains on, but as captains themselves, that's why I put Kirk where he is, because he is still a good captain. That captain was actually still a good captain. He was still a good leader. So if it's that, then yes. If it was the style of the show, then I'd say all the way down to the bottom. Because
no, I think it's the captains, and I would still stick
no.
with
Like my point was, I didn't watch a lot, so I don't have a lot of context for Captain Kirk. Like my understanding,
well, she doesn't like Captain Kirk. Although she doesn't mind William Shatner, though. She thinks he's quite nice.
I love the actor.
William Shatner as a person.
Shatner's
cool.
a good actor.
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't have that context, because I didn't watch a lot, like I only have secondhand knowledge of the type of captain he is, and he's very like I suppose like a somewhat Han Solo slash
Wild West.
Wild Westy type of captain, which is very different from the others. And I don't tend to enjoy those characters. So I would also put him in I Wanted to Study Comets. So that's where you had him, Kez, and where did you have him, Zip?
I've got him in Happy to Be Here because I still think he's a good leader. He's not the best leader, but he is a good leader. So I still think that he deserves to be, a captain. So I'd say Happy to Be Here, and that's why I'll stick to that. Because as renegade as he is, he's still a good captain.
I think the medium is I Want to Study Comets then.
Between the three of us, yes, definitely.
So on to the next, which is Next Generation, TNG. Good old Captain Picard. Jean-Luc Picard. And which is my favorite captain. I love Jean-Luc Picard. Everything about him is super cool.
Indeed.
Is always is a bit reserved, always calm-headed, has always nuggets of wisdom and information and experience, and he's a very kind of archetypical old man leader, I suppose.
Old man leader.
You know the type like Uncle Iroh or like Gandalf or like Dumbledore, like
wise leaders.
Wise old men. What do you guys think about Picard?
Captain, my captain.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all she has to say. Just Captain, my captain. No words on why. Just
no reason
Captain,
why.
my captain.
Yeah.
I watched some of the original series, but I mainly grew up with TNG. So for me, Picard was
Voyager.
No, it's like a toss up between the two of them, but I do prefer Picard more. Janeway is a badass, but I do always lean more towards Picard, and you know that.
No.
He's someone that you can relate to because, like you said, he's hard when he needs to be hard. He's soft when he needs to be soft. He's got the old wise man knowledge. He's like a granddad dad that you want to hug and be there by his side when he goes into battle when he does, because he don't take shit from no one. Back in the day, he actually stood his ground, and in TNG he stood his ground quite a bit, which I take my hat off to him. I've always liked Picard, so for me he's my captain.
I agree. So
from Captain, my captain as well. I mean, I've got the same thought. Picard he's a wise leader. He knows the thing is, he knows how to be the captain of a ship, and he's not just the captain of a starship that is a battle starship, something that is designed for only battle. He was the captain of that kind of ship, but he grew from that into a captain of a ship that actually is essentially partially a science vessel, as well as a discovery vessel, as well as the flagship of Starfleet. He basically embodies what a captain should be. He's understanding when it's necessary. So if one of his, for example, with Reg, now everyone knows Reg, the engineer, the guy who he was an absolute failure in the beginning. He was a damn good captain, and he would say, okay, well, let's help him grow, help him become who he is supposed to be, because he actually is a good engineer. He's just very awkward. Why don't we just get him to that point where he actually makes a good engineer? And he does. If it wasn't for Picard actually pushing the rest of the team into that position, the rest of the crew, the rest of the bridge crew into that position, they would never have helped Reg get to where he was. He's also very firm when he needs to be. So when it comes to battles and things like that, he doesn't stand down. He knows where and when to push things. So the one where there was that ransom, where there was that diamond ransom, there were two factions fighting each other. The one was the pregnant daughter, and the other one was the son that made the daughter pregnant, and they all thought it was the dude in between. Picard actually stood his ground, and he said, look, I am not going to let you destroy anything while I'm here. I could literally flatten you with my phasers in a second. I could use my phasers on medium and they would destroy your ships. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be a good captain. I'm going to stand firm and I'm going to tell you that you will not start a war. And that to me was showing how incredibly strong he is as a captain when it comes to, controlling other people and keeping them from actually doing the bad things that they have done, in any situation. And he's got his faults because everyone does. And you see his faults. When he makes mistakes, he admits those mistakes and he lets his crew, or when his crew tell him, you've made a mistake, this is how it is, he lets his crew say, okay, look, you've made a mistake here, maybe you should think of doing something else. And he accepts it. He also takes advice from his team. That makes the mark of any good leader. If you can take advice from your team, you're a good leader. So definitely Captain My Captain. He is the father figure that everyone wants as a captain. He's also the leader that everyone needs as a captain. So 100% Captain My Captain.
And I think, like, in terms of being like a diplomat, I think he's the best captain that we see on screen. Like, he is the best at dealing with other civilizations and other cultures and other races and other factions.
Yeah.
Than probably any other captain, which is really cool. It's probably also like I think he tends also to stick more to Starfleet regulations than the others do, and because of that,
he'll veer away when necessary.
Yeah, he does.
But there has to be a good reason to veer away from, for example, the Prime Directive.
For sure.
Otherwise, he does not. He is very firm on that. He sticks to that as much as he can.
Yeah, I think he also knows it so well. That's why he can stick to it. Whereas I think other people kind of forget what's in the directive and what's regulation. And that's why, I really enjoy Captain Picard. He's not I don't know if I'm misremembering, but he doesn't actually go out in the field that often compared to the other captains. He usually stays on deck.
Regulation keeps him from going on away missions, so he's actually not allowed to go on away missions as a captain. He sometimes disobeys that because it's not part of the Prime Directive, but he does disobey that. But you know that Riker will always give him an earful every single time he goes on a mission when he's not supposed to, and Riker will say, "Starfleet regulations say that you're not allowed to." And he's like, "Damn the regulations, we must go." So, he will if he has to, but he tries to stick to regulation as much as possible.
Yeah, and he assembled
but it's only when,
such a good team as well. He went out of his way to get all of those people.
Yeah,
and it makes it really work.
And he chose them himself. Yeah.
Which was really cool because they all come in clutch at various different ways throughout the series. Which is cool. So
each of their skills are useful. Agreed. Yeah. Look at how he chose Riker for second in command for a very good reason, because he saw the potential that Riker actually had, and at being a captain, and why he let it down he didn't understand, but he still said, Riker, you are definitely my second in command.
For sure.
I think we need to move on because we can stick on him forever.
Talk forever.
If we could, actually.
For sure. So let's go on to Captain Janeway. I only recently watched Voyager. I don't think I went through it all. I think I have a couple of seasons still to watch. It's on my to-do list. But in terms of, as Kes said earlier, in terms of badassery, Captain Janeway is up there. I would not want to mess with Captain Janeway in a fight ever, and wouldn't want to mess with her. But in terms of overall being a captain, I don't know if I would have wanted to be on that ship compared to Picard's ship. I wouldn't have wanted to be on Kirk's ship either.
Chances of survival are reduced to zero.
I think you have a lot less chance of surviving on Janeway's ship compared to Picard's, but maybe you might have a bit more fun. You'd see a lot of military action.
That's true,
for sure. What do you guys think of Janeway?
For me, she's also my captain, because it's not because of that, but it's nice that she was one of the female captains. But she, like I said, she's a badass, and you don't want to mess with her. And yet your chance of survival is not that great, but she takes risks when she needs to. Look, I haven't watched it for a while, so I don't remember all of it, but I know that she was one of those that's take a risk when we need to try and get things done, which didn't always work. But I like her. She thinks on her feet. She's not as great as Picard, but I still like her from the memories that I have. So it's not a lot of memories, but I do know that I do remember liking her and watching her and seeing her journey, and she's still sort of got a soft side to her as well. So I don't know, I just like her. So for me, she's my captain.
Okay, well, from my side, I'd say she's. I would put her under proud to serve, because I would be. I mean, if I had to serve with a captain, I wouldn't mind serving with her. I'd say I'd be proud to serve with someone like her. Yes, again, survival rate would probably drop to 0 in seconds. Knowing how it works, your survival rate when you're on the Voyager is not very good. But also, looking at the circumstances they were in, you can kind of see why their survival rate would drop to 0.
It was terrible.
I mean, they are, they were 75 light years away from, or 75,000 light years away from anything, even vaguely resembling Federation space. So, and it was going to take them something like 200 years to get back to Federation space.
Yeah.
So, they had to pretty much make do with what they had. So as a captain, she did what she could to keep the team comfortable and make sure that even if some died, that they would be able to record this. They'd be able to record. I think it's Alpha Sector, isn't it? It's like furthest away. I think it's Alpha Sector.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
But they would go out of their way to record what they could, so that they knew what to expect when the time comes, and they do go into that sector. They knew what they would have to actually expect and what would be there. So I do understand where she was coming from as a captain. I would follow her into battle, but I know full well that I probably won't be coming back from that battle. But I would be proud to serve her as a captain. If she were a captain, she is definitely one of those strong archetypes, the ones that you look for in a captain. Someone who's willing to take those risks when it's necessary and make those sacrifices as hard as they are. She is willing to make those sacrifices as a leader. So she's a good leader. Definitely a good leader. Someone I would definitely follow into battle.
Yeah, for sure. She was just placed in a very terrible situation.
A horrible situation,
Yeah, it was quite random.
But she still handled herself well, like the rest of the captains.
Oh
that were
yeah,
out there
I mean, I don't
she
think.
Didn't whine or take any.
No, for sure. I don't think any other captain would have
100%.
would have handled it any better necessarily.
That's true.
But it would have been interesting to see how she leads when things are not so dire. If it was just the mission of Discovery and they stayed on Discovery instead of having to just get back home and fight all these hurdles that no one has any idea, which is kind of what Enterprise is about as well. But the thing is, people signed up for the Enterprise mission. No one signed up to be jumped on the other side of the galaxy. No one signs up for that.
To be launched 75,000 light years away. That was definitely not their intention. Yeah,
for sure.
No, I agree. I mean, look, you can see her captain. You can actually see her captain skills. She's in it for a very, very brief few minutes. But if you watch, I think it was First Contact, where the Borg attacks Earth again, the movie, where the Borg actually attacks Earth again, and Picard comes in with the Enterprise E, but they need support, so they've got a whole bunch of ships coming in. I know that the ship from DS9, I forget what it's called. The ship from DS9, essentially the one that Worf flies.
Okay.
It's that ship. That one and the Voyager come in, and they actually do fight alongside the Enterprise to destroy the cube. So, and she appears for a very brief moment, just saying, "What do we do? What do you need us to do? We'll do it." And so she does actually appear alongside the Enterprise as well as the the other one from DS9. They all come together and they fight. So we do know that. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that the Voyager does make it back to Federation space eventually.
Yeah, we would expect so. Yeah, it wouldn't be such a dire
she actually helped.
situation.
Yeah, exactly. So as a captain in battle situations, she is again very good. But you can see her in that situation, willing to once again sacrifice herself and her ship to make sure that the rest of that Earth is safe. So she's like a Spock, if you can call her that. You know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one, or blah blah blah.
Sure.
She really does stick to protocol when it comes to that. She is a protocol captain, 100%. She's not. I don't think she budges from that, which is something else that's different about her and unique about her. She does not budge from Starfleet protocol. I remember watching the first 2 episodes of Voyager recently, and I was like, "Wow, you know, this lady doesn't veer away
She
from
doesn't take
protocol at
nonsense.
all."
No, she does not take nonsense.
Yeah,
But she does take risks.
definitely.
She does take risks, calculated risks.
She does take risks. Yes. Yeah, but as you said, calculated. Yeah, but there are definitely calculated risks
for sure. So, what about the captain of DS9?
Where does the
Captain
mutiny
Sisko?
start? I don't know. I don't like him. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I don't like him, so he goes at the bottom for me.
Me personally, I know Captain Sisko. I know his leadership style. He's similar to Picard in a few ways. He's not quite as leadership driven. He's not as much a leader as Picard is when it comes to commanding ships, but he definitely is a good commander of the space station. He knows how to handle that many people on board. I mean, he's more like an administrative captain, but he's a good captain nonetheless. He knows how to handle that many people on board that ship, that station. Ships coming in, ships going out. What needs to happen when situations turn bad in certain places? He knows how to deal with them. You know.
Okay, I'll put him then next to Kirk.
So he knows how to deal with the situations when they arise. You know, and for me, as a captain, I don't know how well he'd fare with a starship because we've never really seen him with a starship. We saw him as second in command in the very beginning of Deep Space Nine. He was second in command on the one starship that was attacked at Wolf 369. But you know that's not really much of information. You don't really see much of that. You actually have to watch him grow through Deep Space Nine to see how much of a good captain he actually is. And he does really take leadership to a different level where he's not just commanding Starfleet personnel, but standard civilians, because the space station is full of civilians. It's actually a civilian space station, it's a civilian space station that was taken over by Starfleet and is now running as a Starfleet space station with so many more civilians using that the portal to come in and out. So it's very important that he actually, you know, measures himself with a sense of decorum, and he does. So I'd say diplomatically, he's a good leader. And as a captain of the space station, definitely a good leader. But I don't see him as my captain. But I would also, to be honest, if he were captain of of the space station that I was serving on, I'd be very proud to serve him as well.
What do you think, Junes?
Well, I haven't seen much of Deep Space Nine. I think I've only watched like a couple of episodes, so I don't have enough context. From what I've heard, and I mean, as Ziff was talking, he was kind of selling me on Captain Sisko. He sounds like somebody like, it sounds like somebody I would be proud to serve under, or at least be happy to be there. I don't know if he's my captain material, but that's just because I don't have enough context yet. And you know, even goes with like Janeway, like if I watch the end of Voyager, maybe she might go up to my captain. But yeah, it's difficult to say.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen the end. So
from what Ziff has sold me on, I would put him in happy to be here. I think that's a happy mean.
So he's like all the way across. He's like proud to serve, happy to be here, and just wanted to study
so
comments.
I think in the middle is the happy mean there.
Happy to be here is the best. Yeah, it's the good medium.
Okay, so what about Archer? Star Trek Enterprise, which happened after this kind of generation with TNG, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine. So that was like,
but technically before
the 2000s, right? That it was released. Well, I'm not talking about chronological, I'm talking about release.
Yeah. Yeah. Release date after all of that, yes.
2001.
Yeah, 2000s, yeah. Not met with a lot of critical acclaim, but like I said earlier, it was my first one, which got me into the series. So I like it. I like him a lot. I like the series. Not sure if he's my captain material, but I would put him under Proud to Serve. I think he's the most... he has the spirit of like discovery and science that's, I think, at a higher level than the others do, because he's the first one out there. So, and like, you know, like I enjoy that type of thing where like he's being one of the first to just get out there. What do you guys think?
What you said. I agree with you. It's been such a long time since I've watched it, but I'd also put him under Proud to Serve because he's a good captain, and he's got, I think, actually he's got quotes from Picard, and he's got parts of Janeway in him, and maybe even parts of Cisco, where he calculates everything and works on it properly. And I don't know, he's definitely not one of my wow captains, but yeah, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I haven't seen the series. I don't know much about him. I think I've watched about 5 minutes of the first episode. I don't know anything about him. I don't think I'm even qualified to answer any yes or no. I've put him under Happy to Be Here only because I don't know where else to put him. Yeah. I don't think he's a bad captain. From what I've seen and from what people have said about him, he's not a bad captain. I can't put him under Proud to Serve. I don't know the captain. I don't know anything about him. But Happy to Be Here, I think, it's a good medium for me to put him under because I haven't seen him, but I've heard a lot about him, and I've heard that he actually is a very good captain. So I'll keep him there and hope for the best.
Okay. I still say Proud to
So
Serve.
I think Happy Mean for the three of us is Proud to Serve, which I think is fair. Like,
probably,
is fair. I think it was a different time in, Star Trek history when it comes to release. But I think it was a very important time in Star Trek chronology. And yeah, like I remember enjoying that show. It's been a while since I watched it. I haven't watched it recently. Like maybe if I watch it again, I might totally change my mind. But maybe that's why I don't want to watch it again. Like I enjoy it in my past, and it was fine. It was my first.
Don't want to destroy the memory.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think you will though. You'll probably get very nostalgic watching it though.
Probably. Like I'm already getting shades of like scenes coming through. But yeah,
exactly. I'm pretty sure it'll just go. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll just go full on nostalgia, as it were.
Okay, so now we get to the era of different timelines and different types of technology with the Captain Kirk from the recent movies. Is there any difference for you guys with this guy?
Yeah, big.
I actually like this one. He's what I wanted Kirk to be, I think. And it's not because it's the actor. It's before anyone says that. It's not because of the dude who plays him. It's because of the character. He's not. Yes, the voice is a bit better to listen to, so I will say that. He doesn't have a.
No one likes listening to him talk like this.
No. So that does help, but he's good because again he takes risks when he needs to. He's a freaking shithead for breaking rules and going against what people tell him to. Basically, but I actually don't know where I put him. For me, it's For me, it's happy to be here, I think. I don't know if I'd want to serve with him. I don't know.
You may be proud to serve.
Yeah, I'll think about mine.
What about you, Zeph?
Okay, well, from my side, look, he is Kirk. I mean, he is literally the exact replica of the other Kirk from the other series. If you watch the other movies, you'll get it. You'll see it. Both of them are very reckless. Both of them do things way against the Prime Directive. They never follow the Prime Directive, because what's this Prime Directive you speak of? I have no idea. I don't know what a Prime Directive is. That's the kind of captains they
Directive for
are.
who? Yeah. Not for Kirk.
Yeah, it's not a Prime Directive, it's my directive. So, in my opinion,
But we're talking about this one now, not the other one. This one in particular.
again, he's exactly the same. They are exactly the same. They're both horn dogs. They're both reckless. They both get red shirts killed all the time. If you serve on their ship, you're likely not to survive very long, especially if you're wearing a red shirt. It is the way it is with both captains. So he sits in exactly the same spot with me as Kirk does, which is happy to be here. So both Kirks are actually happy to be here because
No, the other Kirk is
Look, they're
with the
good.
comments.
no, my
His list.
my
his
list, the one that I
yeah.
put together. My list is happy to be here as well. My Kirks, both Kirks are in happy to be here. I don't mind. I mean, I would serve with them. I wouldn't mind. It wouldn't be. I mean, there's always that chance of death. So there's always that excitement. You never know what day you're gonna die.
Yeah.
but yeah. I say I keep them both in happy to be here because
Yeah.
I would serve with either. of
For
them,
me,
to be
I
honest.
did watch those movies, but I don't remember much about this character. It wasn't as memorable as Spock. I don't know whether it's like I like the actor who plays Spock, especially from his role in Heroes, but I don't remember anything about this character. Like, I have a vague remembrance of the movie and of Spock. Even like Zoe Saldana, but not him at all. I don't know what he does in the movie. So I'm like drawing a blank. I would put him in just wanted to study comets. That's where I would put him.
Same place as the other Kirk.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd put him that far down. I think I put him
Yeah,
happy
no.
to be
All right.
I've actually got no captain there, to be honest. Not one of the captains is sitting, just wanted to study comments.
Okay, let's put him in happy to be here. I mean, he looks cool. And he looks like
He is
he's
cool.
ready to get some shit done. But I just don't know what that is. Okay, so
No, that face just says, what shit can I stir up, to be honest.
I think you need,
Which hornet's nest can I kick?
I think you need to rewatch the movie.
maybe,
I do think you need
perhaps. I
to.
need to watch the original series.
We got the entire
and
trilogy,
I'll watch
actually.
the new one as well. I don't think I'll watch the original series. I think that is done for me.
Yeah, Kiz and I watched we've got the DVDs of the
The new one.
new ones. And if we want to watch the movies, I suppose I'll have to find them somewhere, because I don't think Netflix has them anymore.
So back to the new series, you guys haven't watched at all. Star Trek Discovery.
I watched about 3 or 4 episodes of Discovery,
we
and I
haven't
was
seen
like,
that.
this TV series is bullshit. It's boring. I don't want to watch it. It makes no sense. Why are they making it into a fucking soapy? Please
Klingons
stop it.
look
Dear
weird.
God, no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Please God, no. No, please stop. No. Why are you doing this to me? Oh no, my balls hurt. Ow, ow, ow. I'm dying. That was pretty much how I felt watching just 3 episodes
Yeah.
of Discovery. So you can
And
see
the-
where these captains are going to be.
The Klingons look weird. The
Yeah.
show is
Yeah.
weird.
It's a different
Everything
it's a
about
different
it is
subspecies or sub-race of Klingons. Which
Yeah, and I call bullshit
It's
on that
weird.
one, because that's way out of
Yeah,
Star Trek canon.
it's weird. It's weird. Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, I like the idea of the spore drive. I think that's interesting. and then you like using like
Agreed.
a space creature in order to travel. Other than
It's like riding a horse.
yeah, but through space. But other than that, I cannot tell you what the general like plot is and the character relationships. Barely
Because the show sucks that
barely
much.
any of it is memorable.
I just remember the weird looking Klingons. That's all I remember.
yeah, that's memorable, but
albinos.
like, for the wrong reasons. And yeah,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
captain on the right, I don't know what his name is, but I remember something about him like betraying people. So does he even count as a captain in like the first place?
No, he would.
I
He
don't
would
think
then
so.
go to the mutiny one, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, even in this,
Yeah.
he's like holding up a phaser, and like we don't know who he's pointing to. The other one I think is
I
Chris
think he's the
Piker
dick.
or Chris Pike.
Christopher Pike, yeah.
Which is the guy that convinced Captain Kirk to join Starfleet. But I don't remember him on the show, like what role he played. Maybe it's in the later seasons. I think there's versions of him in the other places, but I don't remember either. Do you guys know this captain?
I know Captain Pike in certain aspects. I know him from the original series, somewhat. He's also mentioned in TNG a few times as well about how he was actually a good captain. How he actually managed to save the Federation a few times. So as a captain, I'd say Pike is a good captain. He's not a well, at least he's not a terrible captain. There's no one that I'd be on board with.
Just don't have enough
I wouldn't
context.
go on
Like
his
it's all
ship.
secondhand information.
There's no context, not nowhere near enough context. So, I mean, look, the fact that he's a Discovery captain just it irks me. I don't want to put him higher up because it's Discovery and I fucking hate it. So I don't want anything to do with Discovery. But as a captain, I would never want to do a mutiny against him. Shame the poor guy. It's not fair on him. So I'd say I just wanted to study comets with the Pike character. I think that he belongs, and I just wanted to study comets.
I would agree.
Because he would make a good he would make a good captain, I'm sure. One day when we actually figure out what his story actually is, but I'm sure as hell not watching Discovery to find out. So
For sure.
I've stopped watching Star Trek ever since Discovery came out, and when Picard let me down, I was like, no, I'm not watching this anymore.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
our era right now. Maybe it's Gen
It's
Z's
not.
era,
It's
maybe,
definitely
but
not.
not ours.
Gen Z can enjoy that. I'll stick to the old
Yeah.
movies.
We like old.
We'll have to wait for it to like cycle
Yeah.
back. Maybe the next round we'll enjoy, but not this one.
Yeah, strong Picard that wouldn't take shit from anyone and wouldn't go against the Prime Directive, and certainly wouldn't let someone swear at him like that woman did.
How long do you think it'll take before you'd be okay with a Picard recast, like Younger Days, or anything like that? Because Patrick Stewart is so
if they had
iconic
to
in this
make-
role. Like,
He is iconic in the role, and that's the whole problem, is that he is, as Captain Picard, very iconic. So it's very hard to make a new captain out of someone else. But if they had to do a Picard in his early days, I may watch it. I may, when he was captain of the Constellation ship that he, not the Constellation class, the that Miranda class that he flew.
But it also depends on who they use to cast him,
Yes.
because that will play a massive role.
And also who they choose to write the story, because if someone fucks up the story like they did with Picard, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
not.
Just wait for reviews. Don't pre-order that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I become with everything. I refuse to get anything unless I see reviews. Like Far Cry 6. Apparently, it's a good game, so I might consider buying it at some point. I've heard stories, but that's a different
story. But any
We're talking Star Trek.
overall thoughts here?
Um,
Not really.
I think it's
Go
a good.
Star Trek,
I
go.
think we've got a good tier list going here. So,
Go back to old Star Trek. Go back to old.
yeah. Indeed.
Yeah,
indeed.
no, I reckon it's good. I think that we've put it together pretty well. It shows the definitely a diversity of the captains. It also shows that a lot of people prefer Picard over anyone else.
At least in our circles. Yeah, for sure.
Well, so far in a lot of circles, Picard is at the top.
I've seen a lot of people who prefer Kirk over Picard. I don't understand it, but I see
Me too.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of but right now I'm looking at all these different rankings, and I've got Picard. I don't know why some idiot chose the Discovery captain there. Idiot. Then there's Picard again. Then Sisko and Janeway for some odd reason. I didn't think they were that good as captains. Picard and Kirk. And then Picard. He's
up there.
looking
for
quite
sure,
popular, to
definitely.
be honest. Picard.
So
Picard,
anyone
Picard.
listening, like, let us know in the comment section where you would rank these guys. But other than that, Kez and Ziv, otherwise known as the SA Geeks, where we can find you for the next time.
Everywhere. We're on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Lamesh, Odyssey, and I'm missing one.
Yes, every time you say that, there's something new. What is Lamesh?
Yeah, it's Glimesh this time.
What is that?
It's a streaming site.
Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Lamesh, BitChute, and Odyssey. That's what it was. But just look for just put the type in the SA Geeks wherever you are and find the purple logo. You'll see us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was a lot of fun chatting with you guys in this tier list. And yeah, if you're also listening at home, maybe give us suggestions of something else we can rank together. But other than that, stay tuned and cheers.
Bye.
Bye.